Oh man, in the car for a car video. I feel pretty good about it. I've been talking about my 7 day mental diet, and I got a comment that was asking me, like, what do you do? What do you say to yourself when you're getting these negative thoughts? How do you deal with that? And I wrote this really long response, and then I decided, you know what, it might actually be better to do a piece on this. And I was kind of thinking about it when I was driving, so I stopped and was like, oh, I'm just going to film this now. And what I wanted to talk about was the way that you frame your emotions, or the way that you label them, I guess is a better way to put it to yourself. So when you have an emotion, like let's say you feel mad, this is the example that I left in the comment, but you feel mad and you're like, I'm mad at whatever just happened. The thing you don't want to do is fall into a trap of toxic positivity. And the way that you do that is by saying, like, kind of not allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel, not allowing yourself to be mad or to be upset or to be annoyed or frustrated or any of these kind of emotions. And it's not those emotions that are going to stop these changes within your life. Like, you can still be working on this stuff and be mad at an event that happens. You can be focusing on your mindset and becoming more zen and present and still get upset as somebody cuts you off in traffic and almost hit you. The key is what you do with that. And what I've noticed is that the more that I work on like my own emotional regulation, and the more that I share with, folks that I'm working with, like, hey, you need to start with the emotional regulation. You need to understand what you're feeling and why, and really map it back to yourself and your core identity and like why it's bothering you. The more that you do that, and the more that you focus on that and learn more about like what's affecting you and why, the quicker you're able to, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it doesn't affect you the same anymore. You're able to manage it better because you get to this point, and I'm definitely to this point, where I can make a decision on where I want to put my focus. And I can make a decision on how I want to react, even if I'm angry. I can be mad if somebody treats me in a way that I don't like. I can be upset if something happens to me or like get my feelings hurt. Those are normal human emotions. And when I get curious about the reason why I feel that way, instead of beating myself up for having a very normal human emotion, the easier it is for me to shift into a state that I realize I just want to be curious about it. Why is this triggering me? What is the emotion that I'm feeling? Is this something that I'm making worse, like in my own head? Am I replaying it over and over and making it worse than what it actually is? Am I having mental arguments with somebody about it? There's so many things that you can do about it, but it really comes down to going back to your emotional intelligence tools, your emotional regulation, and not choosing to dwell there. And don't label emotions negative, right? Like, if you're going to have an emotion, you can actually just see it as neutral and see it as a learning experience. So let's say that you're having kind of feelings that you don't want to have, and your mind is starting to go on a spiral. Instead of being like, these are so negative and I don't want to think like this and I'm ruining everything, well, just be like, man, why is this affecting me so much? What is it that I'm feeling? What can I do to like put myself on a better path? What would make me feel better in this moment? You can use physical activity. That one's fantastic. Like, get up and physically move yourself. Turn on some music that you find really upbeat and uplifting. You can journal out the feelings. There's tons of stuff that you can do. Breathing exercises are fantastic, but it really starts with using your emotions and your triggering reactions as a learning experience for you and a learning opportunity for you, instead of this like horrific negative thing because you're doing this. Like, you need to give yourself a little bit more grace.